Hello and welcome to Friday's programme.
Your headlines tonight. From Pentew and Sands to Watergate Bay, the Cornish businesses concentrating on getting the most out of summer and the trade it brings.
Summer for us means we're able to plan further ahead because we basically build up more of a war chest. It's at what can we do to expand or improve what we do.
We revisit 3 Cornish businesses to see how peak season is going.
Also tonight, a mercy mission to try and save thousands of dying fish from a dried-up pond near Exeter.
Plus, a call for more blood bank volunteers here in the southwest. We hear how volunteers like Anne are keeping vital medical supplies moving. And
we're just coming into seal pup season, and I'm out with the wardens on Lundy, making sure they're not disturbed at this vital time.
a very good evening and welcome to the programme. Hospitality businesses across Cornwall say that this summer's prolonged hot weather has delivered a major boost to takings, but they warn that the extra income will need to carry them through a tough winter. Small business owners say that rising costs are continuing to put pressure on their bottom line, which calls for the government to widen business rates relief.
Well, our reporter Charlotte Gay has returned to 3 businesses we visited at the start of the summer to find out how they're faring and whether the bumper summer will be enough to see them through the months ahead.
This is the difference between term time and school summer holidays. Pentew and Sands has been at capacity since mid-July, and when you include day visitors, that's around 2,500 people here every day.
How does it feel to be in a position where you're turning people away?
Not very nice, I have to say, but there we are. It's a nice position to be in. Hopefully those people will ring back and try and book with us again.
The extraordinary sunny weather has kept families on site, which keeps staff like Tilly busy.
I mean, it's quite intense. It's quite intense to know that there's that many people on site. When the restaurant's booming and everything like that, it's you know, it keeps us on our toes, really enjoyable. It's what it's all about, really, because we are quite seasonal, so we get to enjoy those busy nights and busy days.
I imagine you're not the only ones then with casual staff where everyone's just grasping for more people.
I don't think that's going to go away in years to come. I think we're all going to struggle for staff. But then again, I mean, we're very lucky. We got St Austell not far away, so there's a huge catchment area for staff to come. A lot of people like the extra little bit of money on top of their earnings during the week, so we're okay at the moment.
Off the back of Ballmasters Festival and some pretty consistent weather, wave hunters have passed their successful summer marker a month earlier than most years with their surf and boat offerings. This has helped ease the concerns they had in late spring about the cost of fuel for their boat trips.
Summer for us means we're able to plan further ahead because we basically build up more of a war chest. So it's not about us just getting through the winter to the next season and paying everyone. It's at what can we do to expand or improve what we do. So for example, this year we've been able to invest in another vessel. So we have a new boat that's joined the fleet in the middle of the summer. We wouldn't normally do that, but because we had a lot of bookings and a lot of people wanted to book with us, we couldn't facilitate it. We took that leap to get that vessel earlier.
Returning to Falmouth and the holidays are enticing more people to Conabar. After a slow start around Easter, they're now certainly making hay, or should I say cocktails, while the sun shines.
It's definitely busier. The stretch of good weather we've had has been so important. It's allowed us to use our outside areas, and I think people are just generally in a better mood to want to eat and drink and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite story where we've had so much hot, lovely weather that, you know, everyone's quite thirsty for a nice drink.
Last month, Andy Burnham promised to help out pubs, social clubs and live music venues. But as a bar restaurant, Kona and many other hospitality businesses aren't included. And they're asking, why not?
If anything's going to help hospitality as a whole, it has to be a blanket help for hospitality. Obviously, a lot of talk around VAT and how that could massively relieve a lot of the pressures that are on most hospitality businesses.
And business rates as well.
And business rates as well. I think last year we had a quadruple-edged sword of things that kind of all came at the same time. So, I mean, obviously, nice to see new blood in number 10, and hopefully judging from what Andy Burnham's done in the past in Manchester, he's got a mindset that wants to support hospitality and understands how important it is for the economy as a whole. So yeah, 10% would be great. Cheers, Andy.
All of our Cornish businesses are concentrating on getting the most out of every opportunity, because summer in Cornwall and the trade it brings doesn't last forever.
No, it certainly doesn't. Well, Charlotte is live at overlooking Fistral Beach for us. So, Charlotte, by the sounds of what the businesses are saying, they just want government help, don't they? More of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the piece you've just seen, it does look pretty rosy. We are in the middle of the school holidays right now, and without barely a drop of rain, we must add. But these profits from the summer months need to stretch across the entire year into the winter months, and so we've got to look at the bigger picture. When talking about a few different issues that came up there, VAT, business rates in particular, the government has tried to help only with specific businesses, as I pointed out, but not wider leisure and hospitality. These really tight margins are what mean that people could really struggle to offer longer term contracts, which if they were able to have the certainty to do that, they could then offer support to take people out of the unstable seasonal market for jobs. If we heard in my report there, people were saying that they believe that Andy Burnham was coming in as someone who wants to support small businesses, as he did when he was in Manchester. He has said that the reason why the focus is on pubs is because they are a community asset, and that is something that needs to be supported. But why the line is drawn there and not expanded to bars and other businesses, we just don't know.
No, but I know that you're going to return to those businesses later in the year and get a real view of it all across the whole of the season. Thank you very much, Charlotte.
Right, let's bring you some other news tonight. And the death of a Barnstaple teenager, Taylor Charlton, is no longer being treated as suspicious. And 2 people previously arrested over his disappearance are no longer suspects. The 14-year-old was last seen in Barnstaple on the 8th of May. Remains found in the River Tor in June were later confirmed to be Taylor. A man in his 20s and a woman in her 40s were arrested on suspicion of murder and released on police bail. Police say there is currently no indication of third-party involvement in his death.
Now, Bluetongue cases are continuing to rise, with livestock keepers now being urged to consider vaccinating their animals. As of last night, 382 cases have now been recorded in England since the start of July. Most are in Devon, which has 228 cases. There have now been 84 infections in Cornwall and 47 Bluetongue cases in Somerset.
Well, the UK's chief vet says vaccination remains the best protection, even where disease is already circulating and spread by biting midges. Farmers are also being reminded to check animals and report suspected cases immediately. Symptoms include fever, swelling and lethargy. Farmers have been calling on the government to urgently step in with financial support for those affected.
Vaccine costs are somewhere in the order of £2.50 to £3 per dose. Sheep have 1 dose. Cattle have to have 2 doses 3 weeks apart. So for very little outlay, considering the value of the livestock and what the livestock are worth, it does seem to be the best option.
Now, thousands of fish have been saved from the drought conditions in a pond that was drying up on the edge of Exeter. Volunteers came to the rescue at the mud-caked pond.
Yes, just wait till you see it in a moment. But none of the suffocating fish were native species, and people are being warned not to discard unwanted pet fish into waterways. Well, our reporter Richard Lawrence is live at the pond in Pinho. Richard, it is quite a sight, and it must have been quite an operation to rescue that fish.
Yeah, very sad sight. I'm literally on the edge of the dry section, which expands quite some distance from here too, and that's all that remains, a tiny fraction of this pond. But earlier this week, there were people that were wading up to their knees and up to their waists in that mud, trying to rescue the thousands of fish that were in here. And that quantity of fish surprised people, because this is an artificial pond, but also the fact that many of them were simply koi carp or ghost carp or goldfish, not native to this area at all in this artificial pond.
The pond remains parched
with evidence of the recovery operation still here and a few fish that didn't survive as the water level dropped. Hundreds are now recovering in one of several containers in the garden of Councillor Alison Sheridan, who took part in the rescue with her son and said it was a truly distressing sight.
But what did you think to see them all in that pond?
Well, it was awful. It was really shocking. They were lying on the top, caked in mud, gasping, and there were so many that shouldn't have been there. Really, they were obviously not native to that lake. There are lots of goldfish, lots of ghost carp, things that I think had been bought and then put into the lake and had bred. And so, but there were hundreds, and we'd been there the day before, and Greendale had taken over 1,000. So this was a huge emergency that all of these creatures were suffering.
I mean, obviously these are fish that you wouldn't expect to see in a pond setting like that.
No, definitely not. These, in my opinion, had been family pets or acquired anyway, and then they'd been released into there and they'd bred. There were thousands of them.
And they were really struggling, weren't they?
Oh gosh, they're in a terrible state. The water was a couple of inches. It was so shallow that I couldn't actually put a bucket or a container to get some water in to put them in. So we had to bring our own water. They were lying, they were gasping for breath, they were caked, their gills were caked shut. They were flapping around, some of them were just lying there and they were alive, but they looked dead. We're in exceptional conditions at the moment, and the thing is, nature can't tell us. So it really is up to us to look out and to put a bowl of water out with some pebbles in it so things can escape if they fall in, but for wildlife, because the ground is so dry, the birds can't get worms. The insects aren't coming out. Snails and slugs that hedgehogs and badgers and foxes feed on, they're not around. So the wildlife is in crisis, but it has no voice. So it's up to us to look out for it and to protect it.
So Alison is really passionate about it there, but what's going to happen to the fish now? Is she going to keep them?
Well, she has been in contact with friends of hers. She's a reform councillor, and the leader of the reform group across the southwest has said that he will take the fish and put them in a lake that he has on his land. It's an area which is unfished, and therefore they should be able to continue to live their natural lives. But like I said, she's keen to make sure that everybody is vigilant for wildlife and doing what they can right now to try to help in little ways, because she was about to launch a campaign when she came across this wildlife emergency.
Yeah, and it's awful to see. Richard, thank you so much. I'm sure there'll be many other ponds in similar situations.
And staying with the impact of the weather, the Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has been at the Met Office in Exeter this afternoon, where he spent some time speaking to staff who are responsible for forecasting our current unprecedented weather conditions. Now, local blood bike groups such as Cornwall Blood Bikes work across our region, giving free out-of-hours transport services for blood and medical supplies.
Today marks National Blood Bike Awareness Day, and there is a need for more volunteers. Amrit Birdie reports.
Another day, another potentially life-saving delivery from Anne, the blood biker. She is one of 4,500 volunteers across the UK who transport medical essentials. And despite the name, it's not just about delivering blood.
We do a lot of really urgent medication, mainly palliative care medication, and anything really that the hospital wants us to transport. We've even done dentures and some quite bizarre things and medical equipment. It's very, very costly for them doing it by alternative transport. We do it for free for them.
Today, Anne's delivery takes her from hospital to hospice, where many end-of-life patients rely on their medications being dropped off.
Getting timely medications to patients is really important, and it can be really, really stressful for families to have to leave their loved ones when they are really sick and go and get prescriptions for them. They're always really, really grateful, I think, that somebody's done that job for them.
Blood bike services save the NHS millions of pounds every year, but they need more people to get involved. And it's not just bikers they're after.
It's that element of just doing something good for your local community. And because the organisations thrive on the goodwill of those volunteers, whether it's for those shifts driving or riding the bikes to deliver, or whether it's fundraising, or whether it's taking the telephone calls and helping administrate those local charities, we all rely on volunteers from all across the UK.
On National Blood Bike Awareness Day, volunteers like Anne and Sandy are celebrated for their selfless work. But for them, it's just another day on the road. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Well, I'm delighted to say we're joined in the studio by Mel Rowbottom from Freewheelers, who has been a rider, coordinator, fundraiser for 18 years for Blood Bikes. Mel, it's lovely to see you. I know you outside of this. What really got you into Blood Bikes and keeps you there for so long?
For me, it was, I've always ridden bikes since I was young, and I just wanted to sort of keep increasing my skill levels, but then also do something with those skills, and that's what made me, in my local Bristol Advanced group, there were freewheelers amongst that, so I thought, well, that sounds interesting in a way of doing it. So I joined, like you say, 18 years ago, first lady rider, and carried on ever since.
That's amazing. So it's important to remind people, isn't it, that you're not part of the NHS. You are a volunteer charity and you need more volunteers.
Yeah, definitely. We support the NHS in their wider sort of delivery of items between hospitals, etc., but always looking for volunteers. And a volunteer isn't just a rider, so it could be someone who mans the phones, someone who helps with the fundraising, or behind the scenes, etc. So you don't have to ride a bike to get involved.
And family members welcome?
Family members definitely welcome.
Your husband?
So my husband, yeah. So he never saw me because I was out on the bike, so to get involved he became a phone controller. So now he has great pleasure telling me where to go. The only time he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have lots of partners in the local charity that do that. Whether it's partners or even family, children, when we do fundraising events, they come along as part of that to get involved. So it's really good.
Do you know what I found quite interesting? That you're a lady rider who's in here today, and of course we had Anne who's in the package as well. So it looks like there are loads of women in Blood Bikes. There aren't that many, are there?
There aren't, no. And what we say is people see the bikes and they think, oh, they're too big to ride. They're not, until you actually get on them and have a go. You don't know. So when you see us at events, come and sit on the bike and you'll be really surprised. And then if you haven't got an advanced qualification, just reach out to your local group and they can help get you involved. And it's good fun. It's a good family environment. So
even though it's quite often the middle of the night though, isn't it?
Yeah, if you don't mind being a lone wolf on the bike, riding in the middle of the night, in the dark, in the wet, I'm selling this well.
Saving lives.
But saving lives, basically, and that's our motto for the local charity, is riding for life, and that's what we do all the time.
You do just an extraordinary job, and I really hope lots of people come forward and volunteer with you. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
Now, a dentist in Plymouth says dental technicians play a key role in keeping our teeth healthy, but they're in increasingly short supply.
There are fears that shortages could lead to delays in patients getting dental devices like crowns, bridges, dentures, as Kevin Ashford reports.
Sinead van Kalvik has been a dental technician for 11 years. She decided it was the career for her when she saw close up the positive impact that a dental appliance can have.
My mum, first of all, had a funky tooth. It caused a lot of pain, and then the one day she just came home and it was all perfect. I never understood how, and the one day she took out a partial denture. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Just her having the reflection of being in pain versus not being in pain and improving aesthetics sold me on it.
Sinead and her colleagues make dental appliances like dentures, crowns and veneers.
I want some nice translucency, but yeah, I think that should be really nice. Yeah.
But Sinead's boss says he struggles to recruit dental technicians.
Traditionally, it's been quite an old-fashioned industry. These days, we have 3D printers, milling machines, incredible CAD software, and a lot of great artistry. And it's a cool industry that you mix this kind of science and art, but people just don't know we exist.
Last year, just 143 dental technicians registered with the General Dental Council. It was the 6th year running that numbers have declined, and the total of registered technicians is now below 5,000 for the first time.
Quick look before we start. Okay.
Richard Michael is a dentist in Plymouth. He says technicians play a key role in his work.
They're producing crowns, bridges, dentures,
and they really are part and parcel of the dental procedures we do. A lot of patients don't actually know they exist, and it's very much the background. They're the background staff to help us do what we do.
This is one of the final exam pieces for our...
There are attempts to try to reverse the decline in numbers. Yeovil College says it's the first to offer apprenticeships and degrees in digital dentistry for technicians.
The students who are here studying it are clearly really interested and really enjoying it, so they're motivated. There's no attrition. They don't leave their employment, they don't leave the apprenticeship, they see it through to the end. It's clearly starting to land really well.
In a statement, the government said it's taking action to rebuild NHS dentistry, and a sustainable workforce is a core part of that. There are fears that if technician numbers here continue to shrink, more of the work will be sent abroad, adding delays and costs to patients. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
It's 6:20. It's officially the weekend, so let's talk about the sport.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
And Ross is here. Sorry, that yay was a bit half-hearted, wasn't it? It's the weekend, Ross.
Yeah, it deserves a yay. It does deserve a yay.
Yeah, but a bigger one than that.
Yeah.
Have things calmed down after the Devon derby?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, and now, teams looking ahead to league action. We're going to talk about them. Argyle first. They'll be buoyed by the win over their Devon rivals, but this weekend will be a really tough test for them and could well give us a big indication about where Tom Cleverley's side will be this year. They face Stockport at Home Park tomorrow. They do have new striker Will Evans available. He played on Monday and this week has been reflecting on what he made of the derby and the club's home ground atmosphere.
Yeah, to be fair, I had a lot of messages from fans watching the game, and they said, was it as loud as it seemed on the pitch and on the TV? And I just said, yeah, it was probably triple, quadruple that. I unfortunately didn't get to play down here last year, so I haven't really, never really understood what the atmosphere was like. But in a Devon derby, first competitive game of the season, I don't think there's much better ways to introduce myself, and yeah, I got a real taste for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He's got a big job replacing Lawrence Talai's goals. Hopefully he can if they want to get promoted. Elsewhere, on the other side of Devon, a really tough opening League Two fixture for Matt Taylor and his team, and a very big away trip. They're making the 606-mile round journey to Grimsby. Matt Taylor, speaking to media this week as well, has been thanking fans ahead of what will be a long season with a lot of travel, and also discussing the changes in his side before the transfer deadline.
Yeah, it's a tough game, we know that. Monday was a tough game. They're all going to be a challenge. You had the journey into that. You had the Monday night leading into the terms of recovery time. You had no excuses come 5 o'clock on Saturday. We'll either be good enough or we won't be. The team will evolve over the course of time. The team will change. There'll be more players coming in, maybe some players going out. In terms of our fans' intent towards the team and support for the team on the road, second to none. And we massively appreciate it, and we just hope that we're celebrating with our fans on the pitch come 5 o'clock.
I know the fans will be happy, but I still can't get my head around that the league season is starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, isn't it? Feels like literally the World Cup only just ended and we're already back in. Yeah, it will be really interesting to see how both sides get on. Argyle obviously hoping for promotion after relegation last year. Exeter, we'll see how they get on in League Two.
Wow, lot to look forward to. Ross, thank you. Now, you may have seen our report recently about the thriving population of seabirds like puffins on Lundy Island since the eradication of rats, which used to eat their eggs.
Yeah, it's not just baby birds being reared there, though. We're just entering the time for seal pups to be born. But it's vitally important that humans give them space, however cute they might be. From Lundy, Bob Cruz reports.
Lundy is an important breeding site for Atlantic grey seals. With a resident population of around 180, their pups start being born on the beaches in August. The island's assistant warden Tara and volunteer Chloe have been out on their ribs scouring the coast from the water to see if there are any new arrivals yet. Do they haul themselves right up the beach to give birth? Or...
Yeah, they'll go probably almost above the high tide mark because they don't want their pups to be washed away.
And then they just leave the pup there to go and then feed themselves and come back and feed?
And the pup will just be sleeping on the back of the beaches, which is when we normally survey them.
This is a pup Tara filmed last year from up on the path overlooking the beach. Around 70 are born here each year.
The mums come all the way up to feed them several times a day. They kind of drag themselves up and down, which uses a lot of energy.
So the last thing these seals need is to be disturbed at a time like this, isn't it?
Yes, so seal disturbance is becoming a bit of an issue around Lundy, particularly for the adult seals. So the seal pups themselves, provided no one's very close to them, they're quite happy just sleeping on the back of the beach. But if there's anyone near the seal pups, the mums will not come to feed them because they feel very threatened, so they won't come up onto the beach, and then the pup could potentially starve.
At low tide, the adults rest on the rocks. If they're spooked and scramble to get back in the water, it costs them a lot of energy. And if they're pregnant, that could potentially injure their unborn pups, even leading to stillbirth. Seals are naturally inquisitive. This one took a real interest in the remote monitoring equipment the wardens use here, captured perfectly by its onboard camera. Lundy's a great place for snorkelling, which can sometimes lead to a close encounter with a seal, but the advice is to remember they are wild, however tempting it might be to try to get up close for a picture or video for social media.
If you interact with the seal in the water, it's very important that you give it space. Don't try and touch the seal, stroke the seal, hug the seal, kiss the seal. They're not Labradors, they are wild animals, and they can bite and they can spread diseases. Just let them swim around you. It's amazing to watch them, but you just need to kind of let them be and come and go on their own terms. And also, don't spend too long with the seals in the water, because although it's amazing to watch them, if they're interacting with you, they're not fishing or feeding their pups. So keep interactions short and give them space.
There are companies which offer wildlife cruises here, and wardens say it's important to choose a boat operator with the accreditation that shows they've had training to act responsibly around wildlife. But just watching from the jetty is enough for most people, who still get a great view and make sure the seals are not disturbed at this vital time of year for them. Bob Cruz, ITV News, Lundy Island.
Very good advice. Lundy looks beautiful, though.
It all looked beautiful. We often say job of the day, don't we? Do you think that was that? Right, let's get the weather now and see how it's looking for the weekend with James Wright.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
Hi there, good evening. A little bit more bearable, the temperatures today, a bit more cloud around. There's certainly going to be a bit more around over the weekend. It's going to remain fairly warm as we head through the next few days, but there is this possibility next week of things becoming a bit more unsettled. We've got this front passing by. It sort of produced a little bit of cloud. Behind it, we've got the air coming over that ridge, so slightly fresher source of air. The high pulls away a little bit. We get another one of these fronts moving through back end of the weekend into Monday. That's not going to produce much in the way of wet weather. It's this next feature. It may go a little bit further north, in which case not a great deal of wet weather for us, but we might see it just trail some showery weather across us through Tuesday. Back to this evening and overnight, we're now onto this northerly flow of air behind that cold front. It's got a bit of cloud on it. Temperatures though still on the warm side. We haven't quite got that really fresh air yet, so lows of about 17 Celsius. Not too uncomfortable for sleeping, because there should be a bit of a breeze out there. Tomorrow then, bit of a mixed bag. Some bright spells, some sunny spells, some thicker bits of cloud from time to time. Still got that northerly, so it will be a bit fresher if you head to the North Devon and Cornwall coast. 22 Celsius here. Still pretty warm across the south and the east, with more like 26, maybe 27 in a sheltered spot. As far as the days ahead go, well, like I say, generally some decent bright weather, some cloud. Temperatures ease off a touch, but still on the mild side of average in the hottest spots, a little bit cooler elsewhere, and then hopefully some showery weather to come on Tuesday.
TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
And hopefully is definitely needs to be definitely.
changing.
Yes, for showery. For
Yeah,
some
it does look
showers,
like
we
it's
need
about
that.
to, doesn't it?
Yes.
Sweet relief. For the fish.
For the fish. That's it from us. Max will have the late news for you slightly later at 11:35.
But we'll hand you to Charlene White now. The ITV News continues. From all of us, have a great weekend. Take care.
Bye-bye.